Hello everyone, it's Crystal. Welcome to another Sunday Funday. Today is Sunday, February 28th. It's 2021, the last day of Black History Month. I hope everyone is having a nice, relaxing Sunday afternoon. I just finished doing some sewing, working on some quilts, trying to get some projects finished. Today we are going to work with the Nothing's Better Than stamp set and the die set. It's a bundle that you can get. It's in the annual catalog. I'll show you in a minute. This is the annual catalog. It's on page 91. It's a stamp set, and when you look in the catalog and you see this gray, that means there's a die, coordinating die. So there's a cookie die, there's a candy die, coffee, and cocktails. And the words can be cut out as well. So I'll show you the die set and the stamp set. There are 26 stamps in this set, which is great. You have coffee, cookies, cocktails, and chocolate. And you have images that correspond with those words. And there's two-step stamping for the images. Like, here's the outline of the cookie. And this is the body of a cookie. These look like chocolate chips in the cookie. Here's the glass for the cocktail. And here's the liquid with some ice cubes. The coffee cup, and then there's the outline. And with the coffee, you have the steam, these two steam rising up. You have a lemon here. This goes with the lemon or lime, depending on what drink you have. Goes right here, and this is for the umbrella right here. 3 pieces of chocolate, and then these, and these don't line up perfectly. So if you have this set and you've been wondering what's going on, they don't line up perfectly. It's just to give you the idea that this is filled in. So today's plan, consume, and then you pick one of these words. And then that usually goes with, I usually put it with and be awesome. And just like, or you could say, cocktails or cooked chocolate, because adulting is hard, a day without, and then you put in the big words, and then you usually use this, is like, just kidding, I have no idea. You're just like cookies. You make everything better. You can put those two together. And today is a cookies kind of day. And for this one goes with all 4. And I'm pretty sure tomorrow will be 2. So this is a good stamp set. You can mix and match. I definitely have a lot of ideas for this. And I've used it a couple times already. And this is the die set. These are called Love You More Than Dies, 152698. You can buy the die separately, you can buy the stamp set separately, or you can buy them both as a bundle, and you can get 10% off. So here's the chocolate, here's the cocktail, here's the cookie outline, here's the coffee cup. It says chocolate, cocktails, cookies, coffee, and it says Love You More Than. And these are the stamps that I just mentioned. And this is the actual size of the stamps. So our first project is actually a 3D project. I know a lot of people when Easter comes around, they do Easter baskets. You know, I'm not going to comment on that, but just people do that. And if that's your thing, this is a way to give some candy to people you love. These are gusseted bags. They come like this from Stampin' Up. 3x9 printed gusseted cellophane bags. And there are 25 bags in this pack. And so I didn't decorate it completely because I wanted you to see how much this bag holds. These are Hershey Nuggets, and these are 20 Hershey Nuggets. And I folded the bag down twice, and I sealed it with my tape lighter. And there's still room in here. So I don't know if you would give one person this much candy, but I wanted to show you how much this bag holds, and you can decide how you would use it for your projects. Like, this is deceiving how they come in the packaging, but this is a huge bag. Once again, these are 20 Hershey Nuggets, and I still have room. And I created this as a topper. I didn't attach it because I wanted you to see the top of the bag, but I will attach it once I show you how I got these shapes. This is Bermuda Bay cardstock. This is Whisper White cardstock. And I used this die set. It was in the August to December 2020 mini catalog. I've mentioned this several times when that catalog was available. But if you don't have this die set, you can always cut out a rectangle. For these two pieces, I use, for the Bermuda Bay, I use this die. This is the second from the largest. And there's another piece cut out. And for the Whisper White piece, I use this die so that you can have a border around it. Just when I saw this die set in the catalog, I knew that I would use it to cover treat bags. And they're called Celebration Labels dies. So you may have purchased it and never used it. So I encourage you to use it, especially if you're going to give some candy out. This is a great way to top the candy. So I made 3 potential toppers. First, I'm going to attach this to the bag. I'm going to use my tape lighter, and I'm just going to put two strips tape and just close it like that. So then you have a quick candy gift. And then I made You're Just Like Chocolate, You Make Everything Better. This is Bermuda Bay, and the chocolate is an early espresso. Today is a chocolate kind of day. And today's plan, consume chocolate and be awesome. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to put it on dimensionals and place it on here. You're just like chocolate, you make everything better. So if you have a lot of candy, if you need these bags or another kind of treat you're giving out, I stamped this sentiment on Whisper White cardstock, and I have the 2 1/4 inch circle punch. So if you don't have a die cutting machine and you have punches, you can personalize it, personalize your sentiments that way as well. So I'm going to just put this right here in the middle. You're just like chocolate, you make everything better. So that is a great sentiment to give to someone. And it's quick because the bag is already made for you. If you have a die cutting machine and you have those dies, you can use that. Or you can just measure this bag and and cut some cardstock the dimensions you want with just your paper trimmer. So there's ways to make this project without having a die cutting machine. I don't want anyone to feel compelled that they can't make the projects that I share because they don't have everything I have, but you can make a variation of this project. So I made a card to go along with the candy. You can't just give candy out without giving someone a card, right? So once again, let me just put, before I put this away, 3" by 9" printed gusseted cellophane bags. And there are 25 bags in this package. So I'll show you the card. We'll make the card together. Here's our envelope. So, because even if you hand someone a card, you still need to put the card in an envelope. So I'm going to show you how I do this two-step stamping. This is the candies. The outline is in early espresso, and the inside is in soft suede, but it's second generation soft suede. So I'll show you that. And this is our card. Today is a chocolate kind of day, and I stamped these chocolates on Whisper White cardstock, and I used the dies from the bundle to cut them out. And this is Bermuda Bay ink, early espresso ink. Once again, I used a 2 1/4" punch, and this is on dimensionals. This cardstock is Bermuda Bay, 5.5 by 8.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. This layer here is Whisper White. It is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I just wanted just a little bit taken off just so you can see the Bermuda Bay. And the inside of our card, this is Whisper White cardstock, 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm pretty sure tomorrow will be too, especially if you give this, you know, there's 20 pieces of candy in here, or even if you fill up this bag with chocolate or cookies, you could put cookies in here and still use the same stamp set and bundle. And then I put some chocolate in the lower left hand corner. This is 4 by 5 1/4. So before I make the card, I'm going to show you how I stamped the chocolate and how I lined up the words, like you're just like, and you make everything better. This Bermuda Bay, these 2 sentiments were on the same stamping block, and then I put chocolate on the separate stamping block. So I'll show you that also. So we're gonna do the here's the body of the chocolate. And here is the outline. So I take my B block and I just have the flat side up, and then I pick up my stamp. And for the outline, flat side up, and then I pick up my stamp. And for the words, say chocolate, let me just get 2 phrases here. Today is a chocolate, and then kind of day. So I would line it up on my graph paper here. Line it up how I want it to be. The flat side is up. So if this is the spacing I want, then I just make sure it's straight. And then I just pick up the middle one without touching the outside. And I will put this on a stamping block. This is too small. Get a C stamping block. And then, so the spacing is perfect. I know that each time I stamp these two sentiments together, that the spacing will be perfect. It'll be big enough for the chocolate because I lined it up that way. So that's just a pointer if you have the stamp set and you want to do two different colors. Put your sentiments on your down. Put, if it's chocolate or cookies or cocktails, you know, line it. You may want it to be like this, or like that. So just lay it out how you want it. Pick up the chocolate, and then put this on your stamping block. So that's just a pointer for if you want two different colors, or if you want your chocolate, your cookies, your cocktails, your coffee, you want that to be different from the smaller sentiment. It just makes it stand out a little more when you have the multiple colors. So that goes back there. And this is a C block, just to let you know. So for the chocolate, I took my early espresso stamp pad. And I'm left-handed, so I put it over here on my left. And I stamp it, ink it up, and I usually just test it on my graph paper. Stamp it, hold it, straight down, straight back up, straight down, straight back up, straight down, straight back up. And this is enough, this is more than enough space if you're die cutting a bunch. Because I did die cut a bunch of chocolates to use for, yeah, so here they are. I die cut a bunch of chocolates to use for projects. So I just do 4 right now. I'll close my, this is early espresso. And then I'll take my soft suede. And for soft suede, as I mentioned, I do a 2nd generation. So open my stamp set, take my, this is the body, the inside of the chocolate candy. So I ink up my stamp. I do 1 generation here, and then I do 1 generation, 2nd generation there. So you see it does not line up perfectly. And you see the 1st generation is just too dark. So it doesn't line up perfectly, but you see that it's chocolate. And that's how it's supposed to look. 1st generation here on my scrap paper, 2nd generation. So it's a little crooked, but it's still, you can't, I'll still use it. 1st generation here, 2nd generation here. Like that. And finally, stamp off here, and then on mine. So that's how these 2-step stampings work. And you can make the chocolate any color, but I found that this is the best depiction of, makes me think of actual chocolate. So I'm going to just cut this, and I'm going to cut this later with my die cutting machine and save this for another project. So for our card, the label, the layer on the front, this Whisper White layer, I use the Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder. Gives you a nice subtle design. It's in the annual catalog. It's on page 185, Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder. And the cellophane bags, I failed to mention, the bags are on page 152 of the annual catalog. So sometimes you just want to cut to the chase and find things, so that's why I tell you the page numbers. So here is our pieces. This is our Tasteful Textile, and this is the front, but the back is also nice too, depending on the look you're going for. It's a nice deboss side. Here's the inside of our card. I did another envelope because I may actually give this card to someone. And here is our card base. So I'm going to grab my tape glider. And another thing with this scrap paper I have, this is a Stampin' Up graph paper pad. And since I'm using photopolymer stamps, it also gives me the cushion I need for stamping and getting good impressions. And when you use the photopolymer stamps, you really need some kind of cushion underneath, some kind of foam. I usually use a piece of foam underneath, but when I use this, see, I think there's 100, 200 sheets of graph paper here, and I used the first side when I was making the projects. So I just tore it off and just used the other side. There's two sides to every paper, and y'all know how I feel about wasting, so nothing goes to waste. So this is the inside of our card. Our front says today is a chocolate kind of day, so, and I'm pretty sure tomorrow will be too. I designed this card to go with this chocolate. Once I realized how much this bag holds, I said the inside of the card, this is a perfect sentiment for that. And then the outside of our card, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So I just took a smidgen off. And also when you put your cardstock in your embossing folders, they do shrink up a little bit. So I like to just add a little bit for my embossed layers to take account of that shrinkage. So here is our embossed layer. And I did all 4 sides and both diagonals so that the tape can get, the adhesive can get into the nooks and crannies. So today is a chocolate kind of day. And then I have my chocolate pieces that I cut out. This card, I'm actually going to put the sentiment on the right side. Little different from the first card. And I put my chocolates down with mini glue dots. I put 1 glue dot on the right, the chocolate on the right, and I put another glue dot on the chocolate on the left. That's probably more than I need, but I just want to make sure it stays in place. Then my next chocolate, mini glue dot here, mini glue dot there, and I'll just put this right there. And our final chocolate, mini glue dot here, and mini glue dot here. Just put that on an angle. And I'm going to pop this up. I stamped it, put today is A and kind of day on the same ink block like I showed you, and I used Bermuda Bay. And then chocolate, I used the early espresso. And then I punched it out. This is on Whisper White cardstock. And then I punched it out with my 2 1/4 inch circle punch. I'm going to pop it up on dimensionals, of course. And I have some chocolate left over, plus the 4 I just made. So I'm ready for my next project. It's good to make extras because if you ever become pressed for time and you need to make a card real quick, you'll at least have all the elements waiting for you. So I'll put that there. Today is a chocolate kind of day. Grab my bone folder. And so that is our card. This is the card goes with the chocolate as a gift. So you have an instant gift. If you have all the pieces, you have an inexpensive gift because it's already in your house. So just as a reminder, today is February 28th. Today is the last day for celebration. So if you are planning to get some free items for celebration, today is it. Make sure you head over to interwovencreationsbycrystal.com/store and learn how to use the host code if your order will be less than $150. Please use the host code, and I do a monthly prize drawing for everyone who uses the host code. So today is the last day to use this host code for your order, and if you use it, you will be entered to win a prize in my monthly prize drawing. There will be a new host code tomorrow, March 1st. If you have any questions about using the host code, feel free, and you don't understand or you need clarification for the directions that are here, interwovencreationsbycrystal.com/store. Feel free to contact me, and I hope I'll be able to answer your questions. If you have any questions about anything I demonstrated today, if you need ideas for inexpensive gifts for your friends and family for birthdays or any events coming up, feel free to contact me, and I'll come up with some ideas for you. So thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and happy crafting.